do this real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want to cover with you today is the contract, and let's just do this. We've had a high flyer workshop, which is pretty cool. We're not going to debrief that. Got a chance to make some phone calls in the morning. You guys have filled out a little bit of paperwork. So what are some of the lessons you've taken already from the first part of training this morning? Before we even start, we haven't even touched your recommendations. We haven't even told you the really sweet bonus you're going to get when you recommend people to the job. What are some of the things that really stand out and lessons that you can take to be really successful moving forward today? Give me one at a time. Let's just yell them out.
Contacts.
What about phone time? Give me, elaborate, please.
Knowing people you're going to call and figuring out when's better for them.
Yeah, so how many of you are starting to figure out the best time to get a hold of people? Ready? You will never, ever, 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 ever again. You're never, ever, 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 ever again going to have to make calls on a Friday night. You don't want to wait till Friday to make calls. How many of you know some people are out already, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you still got appointments. Look at this. We still got some appointments on the Friday night. So you can always set up appointments, but you don't want to wait till Friday to book the bulk of your appointments. So that's one lesson I hope you learn. What did you learn about Saturday morning?
Everybody's up.
Yeah, most of you made more to this morning than you did last night.
Yeah.
At least half of you. Okay, not all of you, but at least half of you. That's pretty cool. What else are you noticing just from the first part of training? What's important and what's standing out?
You gotta call in.
You gotta call in. Yeah, you learn that. That's not even your training. That's like from watching the reps. You've got to call in. It has nothing. Ready? It has very little to do with your check-in and getting paid. It has to do with us making sure you close good sales. Okay, and remember, you're still new, so we're closing sales. Debbie is still new. This is our 7th day on the job, 8th day on the job. Cool? All right, so take a look at the contract. I'm going to have you pull up your notebooks and pens. I'm going to go quickly through the contract here, and I'm going to do a very short 15, 20-minute version. And then later, if you want me to go through it word for word, I have no problem doing it, but just for sake of time, I'm going to give you the condensed version, and then later on I can meet with anyone after training if you want me to go through it word for word. Okay, so you definitely need your notebooks and pens. This is going to affect your income. All right? Every week I always have one person who's goofing around, looking on their phone, not paying attention, and they're the ones that always has the wrong question, the question that's already been answered and has to do with their pay, and I just don't want that to happen. Everyone here has been awesome for training, so let's keep that up. So, can I erase this?
Yes, you took a picture.
You took a picture? Ricky, you took a picture? I can erase it for sure? You won't be mad? Promise? Love me? Nothing. Nothing.
Oh boy.
He does. He has no choice. Okay. So clause number 1. Again, I'm going to do the short version. Clause number 1 means that you are a Cutco sales rep once you sign this agreement, this contract. That means you can only sell Cutco through the methods that we teach you through training, which is one-on-one presentations directly to customers, specifically in their home. Here's what's really important. Number 1, it means we don't sell Cutco on the internet. Okay, so no eBay sales. If you're caught selling any type of Cutco on the internet, the company reserves the right to just cancel your contract. You no longer work with the company, so you don't want to do that. Number 2, it also means that all orders are due. Okay, all orders are due by Monday, and there's 2 types of orders. There's a live payment, and then there's a virtual payment. Okay, most people pay through virtual, but there are some people that pay through live. What kind of payment do you pay live? Cash and check, right? Cash and check is always live, and that's due by 5 p.m. on Monday. That's the deadline. I mean, if you miss the deadline with that sale, that order, if the payment doesn't get into the office here, then that order will wait a whole week to get in, which delays 2 things. The customer's order, so they're not as happy, but what does it delay for you? It delays your commission, so you don't want that. Really important. Second one is virtual. Okay. As far as the virtual, what's obviously a virtual? How can you pay online? What, credit card, debit card, and direct deposit from your account. Okay, so you guys are used to this. This is due midnight on Monday. You have a little bit more of an extension because it's online. Okay? And then Ricky later will cover how checks work, how cash works, how credit card works, but essentially that. Okay? So really important that you get your orders in on time. Later on, Ricky's going to show you how you actually process your orders. Okay? You can actually write in parentheses, write down ROLO. That's an acronym, which means Rep Online Order. Right? Rep Online Order. That's how you process the credit card. Has anyone ever bought something online? jcrew.com, zappos.com. Okay, you put your credit card information, you put your billing, you hit confirm, it says approve, congratulations on your purchase, and you put all the information through the computer. That's what that is. Okay, that's how customers, you take their information, we'll put it into the order. Yes, quick question.
With the orders, is it if someone orders one thing, you have to have that one order in by 5, or it's just you?
Let me finish training, and I'm probably going to answer that question. Okay, if not. Almost 90% of your questions I'm going to answer in the next 6 hours. So how about this? Every question, just for sake of time, if there's a question and if I have time, I'll answer it, but right now, we'll just go straight through. So write them down, and then I have a break here. Write your questions down. We'll do it on the next break. I'll ask you a question. So that's the first step. Second clause. Can I see those real quick? Okay, second clause has to do with the pay. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put the pay up. This is word for word essentially from the interview, so there really shouldn't be any questions. But I do want to review it because it's really exciting because now you really understand how you sell. You know the prices now. So more importantly, I want you to show you how do you really make money with a company. How does David Delgado make $2,100 in 10 days? How is it that Daniel, who was one of the worst people in training, got off to a really slow start, is now already at $2,000 in sales, and he's made about $250, $300 already with us since Saturday, and he's a slow starter. How is it that Megan, who you met here, got off to a slow start? She's already made her first $100 first promotion. This is what I want to show you. So there are two parts to the pay. You definitely want to get this down. There's the guaranteed base pay. Okay. And then there's the commission pay. Okay. The reps who work with our company are paid either or, whichever one of the two is higher. And I'll explain that at the end part. Okay. We also pay on a weekly basis, so every week you'll get some sort of payment. It's done weekly. So let me cover the base pay. This is the easy one. The guaranteed base pay, of course, is how much? $15, and it's base. And it's per appointment. Okay. It's not per hour. It can't possibly be an hour, right? Why? For one main reason. What don't we ever know? Say it again.
You don't have your appointments every hour.
Well, number one, but what can't we determine? Go ahead, Wilfred. Yeah, the presentation, we can't determine the duration of the appointment. Why? Because why would it take longer in a good way? You're selling more. Go ahead, sit again. Or Benton. Yeah, if you're with friends and family, you're chit-chatting, and that's a positive thing. Why? Because what are you doing? What's the first step to the sale? Connect, and you want to connect a lot more in the beginning. So longer presentations usually means more sales and also more what at the end? Yeah, that's a really good thing. So that's why I also have you set your apartments. How many hours apart minimum? 2 hours. Unless they're neighbors, then what?
1.5.
You can do 1.5 hours if they're neighbors. Okay. So base per appointment. So let's just take a part-time and a full-time example. Okay. So let me show you a part-time representative typically. Okay. Does about 10 to 20 plus appointments per week. Okay. That's at least 7 to 10 minimum for the week. That means at least one a day on average. Okay. Our full-time representatives typically do 20 to 30 or more appointments a week. Okay. That's about 11 to 15 appointments minimum, about 2 appointments a day minimum. Now, of course, that's minimum, but what can always happen if the rep wants to work?
No.
They can always make more sales. Now, if you're a 10K fast starter, what's the number I want you to focus on your first 10 days? 40. Okay, that's the number I want you to focus on. So let's take a part-time. Let's do a full-time. Let's say they do 20 appointments. They're guaranteed 20 times 15, right? And that equals $300. That's how much their guaranteed base is for the week. No matter what, they cannot make less than that. Does everyone understand that? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Let's take a full-timer. Let's do a full-timer does 30 appointments. So they do 10 more appointments, which means they get minimum 450 more. They can never make less than that amount. Does everyone understand? I know it's super simple. I just want to make sure everyone's clear. This is your pay. Okay, this is your insurance part of the pay. In order to be guaranteed the insurance, though, just like health insurance, just like car insurance, you always have to qualify, right? For example, who's got a car? Okay, does anyone know what it takes to qualify for car insurance?
Good credit.
Okay, so part of it's a good driving record, credit. Okay, part of it's credit itself, so you actually can get billed every single month. You have to have a car and a license, so forth and so forth. Well, this is our approval. So ready? Number one, they have to meet 3 criteria to be a customer. Okay. So to be a qualified customer, you have to be at least how old? 30 years of age. And why is that? We talked about that from the max. They have more money. Why else is 30 and above the qualified customer? They're stable. Why else?
They have a family.
They cook more than their families. Yeah, there you go. Also, they have to be working. What obvious reason?
Money.
Money. Like, for example, let's say I have a 30-year-old unemployed person. Even if they loved everything, what's wrong?
No.
They can't buy it. So that's why showing someone who doesn't have a job isn't going to count as an appointment. That makes sense, correct? If it makes sense, raise your hand and say, I got it.
I got it.
Okay, cool. Finally, presentations are done on a one-on-one appointment basis per household basis. In other words, we don't do group presentations, and here's why. I'm going to explain this. A couple of you are asking, well, I have an aunt that wants to invite a bunch of friends over so they can do it together. Your aunt is actually trying to help you. Their idea is, oh, I can help her, Shavante, my niece. I want to get her more customers. It'll be more festive. By the way, that's not a bad idea, and there are a lot of great companies that do that. Mary Kay, Avon, okay? Anyone heard of these companies? Awesome big companies. But there's a difference. Here's why. Here's the big difference. Number one, anyone want to guess one of the top reasons why we don't do group presentations?
Because you don't get paid for all the extra people. So you
Right.
get
Well,
paid
that's
for the one
and why not? Number one. That's right. But give me one reason in the back, and then we'll go to. Right. Okay. Watch. You have to be careful because when you sell Mary Kay, when you sell Avon, you sell Candlelight, right? These are products that range anywhere between $50 to $150 per purchase. So average order is more or less than ours? Less. So in a group setting, just so you know, it's no big deal to spend $25, $50, $100. Maybe more sometimes. Our average order goes to $250, but the sets we start with, what's the homemaker? $11.39. That's not a purchase. That's an investment. See the difference? Right? If I spend a couple $100 with my girlfriends at someone's house with some cheese and wine, that's one thing. But if the first set offered is $11.39, even though it's a great value, people don't make investments in groups. You don't go group car shopping. You don't go group book shopping. You don't go group tuition shopping for your kids. Bless you. You don't go group. You don't go group television shopping at Best Buy. If you know someone that does do group home or group car or group anything shopping, investing, please show them first because they're probably rich. You guys understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But people don't do my Mac customers from church. They don't buy TVs together at Best Buy for $1,000 or $2,000. That's a private investment. So that's the first reason. Second, I think she was saying it with the opinion. All you need is one opinion to spoil the group. That's what I mean.
Oh, the knife and cutting with his dog on purpose.
Okay, no, that's not what I'm saying. But good. Let's try. No, that's a good. That's not a bad answer.
Family and friends, they influence each other.
Yeah, they influence each other. So, for example, let's say Wakai loves it. I'll take that homemaker. And Nathan and his wife, oh my God, we'll definitely get it. But let's say Gideon just bought the kids' tuition and paid the kids' tuition yesterday on his credit card, and his daughter just got into a car accident. How's he feel about money right now? Yeah, even though is $11.39 a great investment for a Mac customer? And can they afford it?
Yes.
Yes. How's he feeling? Does he feel like he can afford it? Does he feel like he can afford anything right now?
No.
No. So what's he and his wife going to say? Oh, no, that's just too expensive. And then Nathan and the friends go, yeah, you're probably right. Well, Kai's going to go, well, I'm not going to be the only one. 0, 0, 0. Ugh. When it could have been $11.39, $11.39. And maybe zero, maybe leave zero by himself, but you just lost 2 big sales. Okay? That's the big reasons we don't do good presentations. So that's the qualification. Now, let me explain to you the commission side. Okay. So you haven't sold anything yet. What commission are you guys earning right now?
10%.
A commission.
10%.
10%. How much have you earned? You guys want to pay attention here. That's what you should pay. All right? You haven't earned anything yet. Once you sell your first $1,000, what happens? You go to 15%, and you've earned $100. Then once you get to $3,000 in sales, it goes up to 20%, and you've earned $400. And their commission levels increase about every $3,000 a quarter until you get to the $2,000 I'm sorry, $10,000 mark. And some of you from the workshop remember this. Then you're earning 30%, which is known as Dirty 30. And that's the first step you need to get to if you're interested in our management training program. Also, once you get to 30%, that's where the money gets really big. Okay, up to here is pretty decent money. Like some of you would not be complaining if you made $2,000 this summer. And if you went for a 10K fast start, I know for sure some of you wouldn't be complaining about making $2,000 in 10 days. However, the real income comes in the bonus levels. When you sell 20,000, 25,000, and 30,000, okay, the commission levels go all the way up to 40, 45, and 50%. It's based on a bonus structure, which I'll explain a little bit later. But just know that the highest level you can earn is 50% of commission. We call that FSM, which stands for Field Sales Manager. That's the ultimate income opportunity for a college student, right? Meaning, once you get here, it's pretty solid. Once you hit 30-30, like the people with the pictures on the wall, that's why we invite them to management training, because they really know how to take advantage of the income and how to sell, and they teach it. Once you get here, this is where I have students that pay their own tuition, that buy their own car, that move into their own place, that are financially independent. That's like David Delgado. David, after 10 days, is already here. So now he's excited about selling 30, 40, 50,000 for the summer, which, by the way, is a different income. Okay, this is 5,000. This is, I think, 7,500. Okay, and this is just shy of $10,000 in income. Would anyone be excited about making 10,000 for the summer?
Yes.
Right. So do what Robbie Matfis did from Northeastern University. Robbie, in his first summer, in 3.5 months, sold over $30,000 and made 10 grand his first summer. That's bigger than the Dirty 30. Okay, so that's the commission level. What I want to show you now, and this is where I hope you get a big light bulb of it. Let me show you how you make money with a company, really quick. We got the bonus levels?
Yeah.
Okay. This is really important. So let's take a student. Let's go back to this full-time student. Someone's working full-time with us. They do 30 appointments. For that week, how much are they guaranteed, no matter what happens, how much are they guaranteed base to earn? Everyone take a look. I need all eyes and all reaction. How much is this student guaranteed to earn if they do 30 appointments for the week? Everyone, how much? Everyone, how much? Okay. This is your pay. If you don't get this, it's your problem, not mine. Right? $450. That's on what? That's the base pay. Let's say the same week they also have their orders. They turn their orders in by what day? And no later on virtual by what time? By midnight, and they get their orders in. Let's say their commission that week turns out to $430 on commission. This is the base. Okay. It's either or, whichever one is higher. So which one's higher? The base or the commission or the base? One more time, the commission or the base? By how much?
20.
So before we mail them or before we direct deposit the commission into their account, we add in $20, and now they're going to get the amount they're guaranteed, which is $450. Do another example. The student does 30 appointments. How much are they guaranteed by the base? One more time. How much are they guaranteed by the base?
$450.
Okay. How much are they guaranteed by the base?
$450.
$450. Okay. Let's say their commission that week is $449 on commission. Okay. Which one's higher, the commission or the base? By how much? How much does their company add before we give them the check? What if it's $449.99? How much do we add? 1 cent. Let's say their commission works out to exactly $450 that week, and they did 30 appointments. Do we add anything to their paycheck?
No.
No. Good. Let's say, like David Delgado, like Megan, like Daniel, who you just met, all the reps that are selling. Let's say their commission that week is $700. I just talked to David. His first paycheck was $700. His second paycheck was $1,500. He had a $10,000 fast start. So which one's now bigger, the base or the commission?
Commission.
Do we have to add anything to this paycheck?
No.
Right. I know that I just threw a lot of numbers on the board. And for some of you that aren't really quick with math, this might not make sense. It doesn't have to. All you have to remember is you can never earn less than $15 for every appointment you do each week. That's the guaranteed base. But there's no ceiling to limit you when you understand what I'm teaching you, how to sell the product. Okay? That's the guaranteed part of the pay, and that's essentially what number 2 says. Number 3, let's go quickly here. Okay. Number 3 means at any time. Okay. Number 4. Okay. Number 4 is for tax purposes. Let me give you the quick version. Most of you, who's ever had a job before already? Okay. And if you're an employee, you signed a form called the W-2, right? And what happens every paycheck? What happens to part of your paycheck? It gets taken out already. Anywhere between 20 and 30% gets taken out because that goes to Uncle Sam, as part of your paycheck. That's called paying your taxes. Now here it's different. When you sign this form, you are not you're not an employee technically to the IRS. You're what's called an independent contractor. That's the same technical term for someone who's a self-business owner. Raise your hand if you know someone that runs their own practice, business, law firm, something like that. Okay. All the friends and family that you raised your hand with, they're the same thing. They're called an independent contractor. What that means is that when you run a small business as an independent contractor in the U.S., you are given tax breaks and tax benefits because by providing a small business, what are you doing to the economy? You're increasing and stimulating the economy because you're providing what? Jobs and income for the economy. Everyone understand that? So the cool thing is the short version for people here, because most of you don't even understand how taxes work. I know you don't. You just have it taken out. Is that you will pay anywhere between 10 up to 40% less in taxes because the IRS allows you to do what's called business write-offs, meaning you are allowed to take anything that you spend money on that is related to your business. And what's your business here now? Selling what? Anything that has to do with selling Cutco, if you spend money on it, if you have a receipt, they will count that as a business write-off. So here's what's really cool. Let me give you a list of the following things to write down that all count as business write-offs, and you can write it as a tax break. Number 1 is your cell phone, your monthly bill. Number 2 is buying a new phone, period. Because what do you use the phone for? Call appointments. That's part of your business. Transportation, including gas. Save the receipts. Car maintenance. No, not souping up those rims. You're going to see that receipt and go, nope, that doesn't count. If you get a new car, depends on the car. You can say that. If you happen to be getting a car, it depends on the car. Essentially the weight, because it would be considered something there. Okay?
You said the weight?
Yes. Don't worry. If you're getting a car, talk to me. Okay? Also, any business supplies, which would include more notebooks and planners, which are very important, so you can stay organized. Because I'm teaching you how to manage your time in the training manual. Eventually, that's going to work. That's going to run out, and you're going to want to have your own planner. Our best reps all have planners. 7 days separated by 15 minutes, so they can be very, very efficient. Next thing is any business attire, which means dry cleaning. But we don't do write-offs on clothes, ladies, unfortunately. Okay, but dry cleaning, yes, because what kind of clothes do you dry clean? Business clothes, right? Any business travel expenses. What I mean by that, if you're invited to SC1, the conference, right? If you have any expenses, for example, if you guys get a hotel somewhere and it's for a business conference in the future, or if you are paying tolls on the way to a business conference, those are all things you just take the receipt for. That becomes a business write-off. If you buy a laptop or iPad or anything that will be used to either contact customers or look up customers or to store customers, so anything electronic like that laptop, iPad, any type of tablet, save the receipt for that as well. Last thing is anything that you're not sure, you can write down, just keep the receipt, and you can see based on what the accountant says. Okay? So let me give you the last version of this. At the end of the year, here's what you do. From now until the end of this year, I want you to get an envelope and just write down Vector or Cutco, both 2014. And anytime you have a receipt that has to do with anything that I just listed, put the receipt, write what it is at the top and stick it into the envelope. At the end of the year in December, give that envelope to your parents if they have someone that does their taxes, or give it to an accountant if your family has an accountant, or you go to a tax preparation service like H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, and they'll do it for you. You pay for it. And what they can do is they take the receipts and they'll see what adds up, and they'll give you your tax break and let you know, okay, you don't have to pay this much in taxes. So we do not take taxes out of your paychecks. You get all of your paychecks up front. But you still pay your taxes. We just pay taxes later in April. But the thing is, we don't pay the full amount. It's always what? It's always less. So who's excited about paying less in taxes, right? So the key is you have to have documentation, which means what do you have to prove it? You just have to keep the receipt. So we also do tax workshops from time to time in the office when it's close to the tax season. Okay? Okay. Next one. Number 5 essentially says that you'll run your business in an ethical way, meaning you're not going to make up prices and embellish things just to make sales. You won't do any type of cold calling, which means you won't knock on people's random doors. That's door-to-door people. And you won't cold call people to the phone book. That's telemarketing. That's not what we do. So far, so good. Okay, number 6 means that you can't create liability for the company. For example, you can't buy a car and then send the bill to Cutco because then you make Cutco liable. Whose car is it?
Mine.
Yours, not Cutco's. Okay. Number 7, Okay, this is important. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but number 7 means we're giving you about $400 worth of Cutco today. That's owned by the company. That's company product. When we give it to you, you're responsible for doing what with the product? Besides selling with it, what should you do with it? Keeping it and keeping it safe and taking care of it. You own company property, about $400. So here's what I want to share with you. Okay? I don't have to give you a kit. It's my choice. Because here's the thing. When you leave here today, everyone who's in training today is graduating officially. Meaning if you're here today, because not everyone was. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay? You're here today. We want you to work here. You're following the program. We know you'll do well. We know you'll make a ton of sales. And we know you'll follow directions and get coaching from us. We will have no problem giving you $400 worth of the product. So my first tip is just take care of the product. Normal wear and tear is fine. Obviously, we're using knives and you're cutting things. But just take care of the product because knowing that it's not your property. Number 2, it's $400 worth of the product. If you want to purchase the product, that kit that they give you today, if you want to buy it, you can buy it. I think it's like $80 instead of $400. But don't ask me today. Here's why. Because I don't want you to spend money until you actually make money first. Okay? Most people buy it. Why? Because once they're done working with Cutco after the summer or multiple summers, 2 things. They can always have a job because they have a kit. Number 2, what do they do with it? They use it because they got it for $80, not $400. Okay? But ask me about that later. Later. Third thing, when I give you the kit, I want to be upfront and tell you this. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. When all the people make it, there'll be 26 or 27 of you that graduate from training. Okay? We'll call 25 for math. Okay? If you walk out today and I trust you and I give you that $400 worth of the Cutco samples, guess what happens? You have company property. So if you walk out of here and all of you disappear and I never see you again, peace, you change your phone number and you walk out with the Cutco. Right? Guess who gets charged? Me.
Not good.
So 25 times 4, you do the math. It's $10,000.
That
Right?
does not make a
So watch this. Listen. So if you want to know, when I coach you and I give you suggestions and I say, hey, do it this way, when I maybe like correct you a little bit positively, never disrespectfully, if I encourage you, if I push you a little bit harder here, or if I say, I don't want you to do it this way, trust me, from my experience, do it this way. Know that we're in this together because, number 1, I have not gotten paid a single dollar to train you in the last 3 days. I don't get paid to train you. I only get paid if you make sales. If you don't make sales, you still get paid. I don't. So guess what kind of training I've been running? The best possible, right? Number 2, when I give you a kit, it means I bet on you. When you get a kit from me today, it means I believe in you, and I'm willing to put $400 on you. In fact, I believe in this training group so much, I'm willing to risk $10,000 of my income. That's right. I say that because, ready? I love training. Training is like gives me a chance to see who we really want to work with. Anyone that came in for the High Fly workshop, not only do I want to train you, I want to spend every day with you in the first 10 days. So just know we're in this together. If you do not work with the company in a week, meaning you don't turn in an order within the week, the policy is to turn in the kit, check it off with us so that the company knows that you don't have outstanding product and they won't ask you about the product and come after you, blah, blah, blah. If you want to pick up the kit again, start doing appointments again, you just come back and pick up a new one and we'll re-register you and you can get a new kit again. Okay? Let's say you're going on vacation for 2 weeks. Come by, turn in your kit, we'll mark it off so the company doesn't think you have outstanding property. Cool? So all that I ask is that you communicate and just know that we're working together. Is that cool? Everyone cool with that? Okay, because I know this. The job might not be for everyone. Number 1, you can't figure that out unless you've been doing it for 10 days. I'm telling you. You won't know unless you finish the full training whether this job is for you. But only make that decision if A, you've put the full effort, B, you've done it the right way, and C, you've done it for 10 days. Anyone who does anything less than that shortchanged it and didn't really get the right experience and didn't do the job right. Okay? But I know you guys will. So just communicate with us. If you have any vacations coming up, just return the kits. If you're traveling, you want to sell Cutco there, just let us know. We'll let the company know that you have the kit while you're on vacation. You just check it in. You can actually check the knives in, not carry on, obviously. Right? But you can check it into your luggage if you're going to California and you want to do presentations for family and friends out there. That works too. Okay, so if you have any questions, write them down. We'll get to the break. Last few parts, number 8 means the Cutco trade names and trademarks. For example, right here where it says Cutco, and right here where it says Vector, these are company trademarks, which means what? You can't do what? You can't copy it. In other words, like you can't make a polo shirt with the polo horse. That's illegal. You can't make a Nike shirt. Okay, it's the same thing. But if you want to make business cards, right, why would you want to make professional business cards? To do what? To network. And why would you leave one with the customer? So that if they ever want what? another product or more product, or what else can they do?
refer you.
They can refer you and they have your card. Two things. Number one, when you get your business cards made, you just talk to me and I can approve you using the logos. Number two, save the receipt. Why?
Business write-off.
Business write-off. Got it? Okay. Last one, and I'm actually going to, can you guys share this one? Read together? I have to read this one word for word. Okay. This is number 9, so everyone please follow along with me. Eyes on your sheet. I have to read this one word for word. Okay, listen up. The sales rep may terminate this agreement by mailing a written notice to the company's administrative office at 322 Houghton Avenue, Olin, New York, 14760, and by fulfilling outstanding obligations. The company reserves the right to terminate this agreement at any time for good cause. Good cause includes, but is not limited to, a breach of the sales rep agreement, mishandling of consumer funds or credit card information, submitting dishonored checks, falsifying information, and misuse or unauthorized use of Cutco Corporation-owned trade names or trademarks. This agreement may also be terminated if sales reps fails to submit an order for the company's consumer products within a year of his or her last previously accepted order. Let me translate. Number 1, if you don't turn in an order within a whole year, not a week, a whole year, the company's just going to assume what? That you no longer work with the company. So they're going to freeze your account, meaning you can't turn in orders. But you can always reactivate your account if yours gets frozen after a year. You just have to let me know and I'll reactivate it. What does that mean? Well, let's say someone works with us through college and they decide, okay, and I'm moving on to my career, taking the Cutco resume experience. Well, after a year of not selling, the account's going to get frozen. But I have people all the time that say, you know what, I have a lot of customers that still call me back. I'm not in college anymore, I don't do this anymore, but what would I still want to take advantage of? The pay. Yeah, so you can always reactivate your account and sell Cutco on the side, and some people even do it for a career, just so you know. Selling Cutco or doing it in management. The second thing this says, and please let me get all eyes for sure on this one. Please, all eyes, this is really important. Christina and Crystal, okay, on me, sorry. What I'm about to say has nothing to do with how I feel about the 21 of you. I think you're all great, otherwise you wouldn't what? You wouldn't be here. Okay? Unfortunately, there have been times in the past, well, let me say this again. The company reserves the right, if someone does anything unethical with the company, mishandling customers' money, falsifying credit card information, anything that seems like shady or bad, the company reserves 100% the right to pursue whatever action against that student if they choose to. Right? And I don't mean that because I think anything from any of you. I just have to say it to protect the company and to protect, of course, who? Myself. Here's what I'll say. Unfortunately, like any big company, some of you have worked for big companies before, unfortunately there are students who have tried to cheat, steal, and lie from the company. Does anyone ever work retail and someone tried to short the register?
Yeah.
And steal clothes? Anyone ever work food and same thing? Okay, you see it all the time. Let's say you're working at Abercrombie, you punch your time card, you go on a smoke break, don't smoke. You go visit your friends, you go to the pool, you go to another mall, you go shopping, you come back, you punch your time clock, you try to collect money. What's that? That's stealing time. That's a version of fraud. So if you worked at Abercrombie, Abercrombie can go after you. It's because you tried to fraud Abercrombie. The company reserves the same exact right. And here's why. Because unfortunately, there are people who try to cheat, steal, and lie from the company. I don't expect this from any of you, but let me give you some examples of what's the same thing of like punching your time clock and trying to get paid for not doing the work. We've had students who try to do appointments for people who are under 30 and try to pass it off as over 30. What's that? That's stealing, yeah. Okay. We've had students where they tried to do what Gideon was saying. They do a group presentation for like 10 families, and they tried to say they did 10 different appointments. Now here's what's really interesting. On Monday, you're going to turn in a sheet that gives all the results. If you do 10 regular appointments, even if you're not good at this, how many are you going to sell on? 6. Yeah, so when someone says I did 10 appointments and I only sold on 1 or 0, what's usually in my head? I'm going, well, what's really apparent? Something's not right. Right, because even if you just do 10 appointments, if you're the worst person on this training group, and there's going to be a worse person here, you do 10 appointments, you're going to sell 6. Worse, you'll do 3 or 4 if you're really terrible. And guess what? I'll fix you on Monday, for sure. No matter what, I will fix you on Monday. It always happens. There's someone like that. But again, someone tried to do a group presentation and count it off. We had one customer, a couple of students where they'll sit down with the customer and go to see Aunt Jessica, go see Tia, and they don't even do a full Cutco presentation. They'll like walk in, hand the book. Hey, dear, hold this real quick. There's my product. Take a look at the book. See if you like anything. Can I get a bite to eat? Is that a presentation?
No.
Are you connecting? Maybe. Right? Are you establishing credibility?
No.
Creating a problem? Offering a solution? Are you creating the need? Are you cutting anything? God, that's even worse, right? So is there any possible way you're going to make a sale on that?
Yeah.
No, so that's not even. So it's really you just didn't do what? You didn't do the job right. Yeah. They try to get paid on that. That's also what? Stealing. I've had some students who literally, they'll tell me it's a Mac and it's not, right? and try to count that off. Or they'll not do a presentation and they say, hey, Uncle Brandon, okay, if you are going to talk to the company, tell them I did a presentation. That's like saying, hey, Crystal, can you punch my time clock? Okay, I gotta go. I'm not coming in, just punch it. Right? That's also stealing, okay? And again, you don't think that a multi-million-dollar company, by the way, the #1 selling corporation for kitchen cutlery in North America, you don't think they have ways of finding that out? Don't you think? Right? And all I say is this. I don't say this because I expect any one of you to do that, because if you are, I hope you're not that dumb, because you'll get caught. But I say that because you should take a lot of pride, and this is why this is a positive thing, because the company has never had a pay decrease since 1949. We've never had, oh, Christina, we can't give you 30% anymore, sorry. Oh, actually, we're going to have to take away your commissions. We've never in the history had a pay cut of the company. Why should that give you confidence? How many companies do you know that can say that? Some, especially nowadays, right? So here's why I take a lot of confidence, because if you're here today, you're the right person for the job, and you're going to do things the right way. You might not be perfect, you're going to make a lot of mistakes, but we're going to do this together. And what I love about this is that you'll never have your pay affected, because people who do try to steal from the company, knuckleheads who do try to do the things I told you, they always get caught every time. So the company doesn't lose money. We never have to take your pay away. How cool is that? Right? So if you're stupid enough and you're sitting here thinking, God, I was going to do that, well, you'll get caught. Don't worry. You'll get you'll get caught. 100%. You always do. But for everyone else, the 99% of you, your pay's protected, man. It's secure. Now, people always say, well, the job's not stable. I mean, who started that already? Yeah. You do that job as a commission. It's not stable. Neither is your pay at Abercrombie, because they don't always give you hours. How stable is that? Raise your hand if you know exactly what I'm talking about. Say aye. Yeah, that's stable? Okay,
Yeah.
you're stable 7 hours. That's right. You get the 7 for sure. But what if you need 30? What if you're $8 an hour, you need $240 a week, minus taxes 200? What if you need 200, but they give you enough money to make 50? That's stable, but stable low. See the difference? So just keep that in mind. Okay, last two things, and we'll wrap up, have to do with your Social Security number, knowing that if you sign this and your Social Security number's on there, that's the person who's signing this. You've gone through an interview process, and your Social Security number is accurate for tax paying purposes, okay? So you're going to get an email today during the break. Ricky's going to send you an email. You might have already received it. Don't pull it up yet. And then we're going to have you sign the contract. That means you're officially on our pay program. Everyone got it? Okay, cool. So before we take a break, go to your notebooks real quick. I'm going to have those sheets, pass those to the left. One man, Ben, can you collect those for me? And then go over there. And then I just put it by this hand sanitizer. And then one last thing, we'll take a break. Pizza's coming. Yes. What kind of pizza, Chanel?
Pineapple.
What kind of pizza?
Free pineapple. You know, taste it.
That's all of
Thanks, Ben.
Oh, I like it. I'm not saying it. Oh, I'm asking for percentage. I love pineapple. Ham and pineapple.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
All right, listen up. Listen up, you hell yes. Okay, let me get it right. This has nothing to do with the contract. This has to do with your money. So you want to hear this? This is my favorite part of this last section. Hey, Ricky, we're gonna need pizza in a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do we go about that?
So what? The pizza?
Yeah, so go grab it or do it.
Oh no, have them deliver it. I'll give you my the blue one. Don't drop it. Okay, real quick. This is the last thing because I want to end on a high note here. You should hear this. I really want to talk to you about your income and your commissions and how much money to make and how to make a lot of money. So I don't want you to get off to a slow start. I want you to get off to a fast start. Yes. Now watch. Watch. I want to put some perspective because I do know for a fact, and I'm going to laugh, and you're going to laugh when I say this. I know for a fact that most of you, $15 base is already more money than you've ever made in any other job.
Yeah.
So going into the interview, even after you get the job and learn about the commission, even here today, I know, and don't lie, because I was the same way. I was in this day of training going, yeah, but that 15 seems already great. Okay? You can't think, you can't act, you can't speak like a who. That's college student mentality, because when you're broke as a joke and your highest pay is $8 an hour, 15 is awesome. That's not how you make money here. Okay? Let me show you how you make money here. Because no one here wants to make mediocre or average money. You can do that at Abercrombie. I don't mean to say Abercrombie because I don't want to make that. My assistant here, I used to work there. It's not. You're not going to make that money in retail. You're not going to make that money in food. The way you make money here is through the commission. The base pay, the $15 I raised, that's the insurance. Why do you have car insurance, health insurance? Just in case. But you don't drive like this, do you? I have insurance. I'm okay. You don't say, oh, I need money. Let me crash my car to get insurance. What's that?
That's fraud.
Fraud, and it's stupid.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Let me damage my car to make more money? That would be the same thing as let me do my appointment to make 15. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Well, at least I'll make 15. If you ever, even one time, say to yourself, well, I'm just going to do the appointment to make my $15. Here's what I want you to do. Number one, don't do the appointment. Number two, come here. Set an appointment, by the way. Come here. Number three, bring the knives. Number four, return it to Ricky so we can check off that you haven't kept the knives. Number five, let us know this job isn't for you, and I will write you an awesome recommendation of someone who has good character, that we support, that we like, and I would love to give you a chance to try and find another job. I will help you find another job. Okay? Because this job isn't for you. Because when you go into an appointment saying, I just want to make $15, that's the worst thing ever for three reasons. Number one, you're shortchanging yourself on making sales. Ricky, Number two, you are shortchanging the training you just went through from someone who really wants you to learn how to sell. And number three, you're shortchanging the most important person that we have to provide service to. And who's that? Yeah. So what kind of appointment are you doing when you sit there going, well, at least I'll make my 15. Whatever. Whack. Seriously. How good of an appointment can you possibly do if you're trying to, the contract you just turned in at the top, Benton, my friend, grab one of them. At the very, very top, front page, really bold, it has 4 or 5 words at the top. It says blank, blank agreement. What does it say at the top? Very, very top. Title. What does the title say? Read it. Sales representative agreement. 3 words, one more time, slowly. Sales representative agreement. Not show up and make $15 representative agreement. Every time you go into a customer's home, your job is to make a what? Sale. The goal is to make a what? Sale. Your intention should be make a sale, not to show it. You sell Cutco, folks. If you want to just show it, you could have been done training on Thursday. You just read the book. But we know 7 steps to a sale. How to handle customers' objections, how to work with them, try to close on a homemaker, signature, or complete, or drop down to a starter set, or even a customized set. And you're going to call Ricky every time. I'll show you how to do that. So make sure you close sales, because that's the job. Every time. And another thing I want to share with you is if you're not excited about the commissions, I think either A, I'm not really explaining it properly, or B, your head is screwed on incorrectly. Because one thing I do know, even if you take average, what's the average order with Cutco, folks? $250. What commission are you starting to earn when you're brand new when you leave here today? 10%. So even if you're brand new and average with mom and dad and your close friends, and even if one of your top 5 isn't a homemaker, signature, or complete for some crazy reason, by the way, all of a sudden, you sell an average order. What's 10% of 250? 25. 25 versus 15. As far as I know, $25 is always more than $15 forever. Unless I'm just crazy and my Asian math is off. Don't laugh. Okay, you can laugh. Right? Which one's more, 25 or 15?
25.
Which one?
25.
So why would you show up to try and make 15? Thank you. No, I'm serious. But watch this. Let me get you excited even more. Watch. So I'm going to take, who's got 10 or more? Where are my pizza people? 10 or more. Magic numbers. Love it. Love it. Okay? So I'm going to take Jessica here. And I love that Jessica, her goal was 13, and she said, you know, I'm going to hit it. What's your goal? What do you have now?
14.
14. I love she had a goal. Now it's higher. So let's just, if you want to focus on 10K faster, because she's in the workshop. Okay? She's going to go for 10K faster. And how many appointments she should be focused on?
40.
Yeah, 40 appointments. Okay. So let's say that breaks down to about, what, 5 a day? 5 to 6 a day? So let's say every day, starting today, she has roughly an average 5 to 6 a day. 2 to 3 of the days are going to be really, really awesome. Like all signatures completes, 80% closing ratio, 20 recommendations. 3 of the days are going to be terrible, and then 4 will be average. She'll probably sell about $1,000 each day. So let's say she goes out today. She gets off to a nice start. Do you have your top 5? Do you have at least 2 or 3 of them showing up this weekend?
Yeah.
Do you have any of them today? Of your top 5?
Yes.
Okay. Is your first one a top 5?
My second one.
Hell yeah. I love it. Okay. So watch. Let's say she has a grand day today. She sells $1,000. Now she could do it the hard way. What's the hard way to sell 1,000? You do an average order for 4 customers. Or what's the easy way? What's the easy way?
One homemaker.
Sell a homemaker or
Uh,
more. Okay? And we'll talk about how you sell signatures and completes. So let's say she has a grand day. She just hit her first promotion today. How cool is that on her resume? So you work for Cutco and you got promotions. How long was your first one? Oh, 2 hours. No, 2 hours. Why? She could. Or how about if she does it in her first 1 or 2 appointments? 1 hour. How does that look?
Excellent.
Excellent. Excellent. So her first promotion, now she's made $100 today. Some of you, that would take you a week at your other job with the hours you're getting. Then let's say she has another grand day on Sunday, and then on Monday, so by the time I see her at advanced training where she's pumped up, she's going to be mad at me, by the way, because I'm going to teach her the secret weapon. She's going to be so mad. I'll teach her to call acquaintances on Monday. I'll teach her more tips. And now she's at already 20%, and now she's made $400. That's like going to McDonald's and going from $8 to $16 an hour in 1 weekend. Then let's say every day she has a grand day. By Thursday, she's at $6,000. So this young lady, because she's just focused on 40 appointments, has now made a 25% commission, and she's made $1,000 not even a week on the job. First of all, I already know she's excited about that. And then she has her second weekend, because the second weekend is a big weekend because you have more training, more appointments, more recommendations to show, you're more confident. So she's going to finish off and sell $4,000 that weekend, like David Delgado did last weekend, and $10,000 in sales. Watch this. So she's hit all the free Cutco in excess of $1,300. She's going on the VIP night, so she gets to hang out with the top people in Cutco, myself, in downtown Miami for a night ever to forget. She's now making Dirty 30, so she's making 3 times as much. She qualifies for our AGL school, which is our management training program, and she's made $2,000, and it's been 10 days. Wow, I was right. If you can't, are you excited? She's like, right? If you can't get excited about this, may the good Lord bless your soul. I have no idea what to tell you. If you still want $15, you really shouldn't work here. Seriously, if after this you're like, yeah, but I still want that 15. No, you should go. Like, I'm not even gonna be mad if you say this isn't for me. And when we gotta go to break, tell Ricky it's not for me. I'm cool with that because I don't want to waste your time, man. Don't waste ours. I won't waste yours. Cool?
Sure.
I'm so excited. Let's do that. Let's do that. And by the way, if you came in this morning, let's do that. Got it? Okay, let's take 10. I have 12:30, 12:40. Let's get rolling. Thanks, guys. Hell yeah, that's right.
Take a break.